Hi everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Cricket. Today I have a lot going on. I'm canning some peppers, making homemade German chocolate cakes with the homemade coconut pecan frosting. That's my favorite. So we're just going to have a easy throw in the crock pot type dinner, and I thought I'd bring you along. I'm using my pressure cooker because it has the slow cooker function on it. If you're using just your regular crock pot, just cook this on low. If you know me and you know this area of my kitchen is very small, and like I have that, my jar sterilizing, so like this is the room that I have. So I'll try to do this the best that I can. And I know you can't see down in here, but found some boneless sirloin tip steaks on Woohoo at Kroger yesterday. So I bought that. It's around a pound. You can use up to 2 pounds, and I've just cut them up in strips. We're going to be making some crock pot beef and broccoli, so I'm adding one 14-ounce can of beef broth to that, and I will fill the can up with just a half of it of water. Throw that in there. Now this is a beef base concentrate. I could have used all of it with water, but this stuff is so strong and so salty that I'm just adding this much to give it a good taste. I don't want to use the whole thing of this because I've done it before and it's just too salty. So I'm adding just about a half of a teaspoon. Now your salt and pepper is always to your taste, and we're not going to add hardly any salt at all because of the broth, and I'm about to add soy sauce and what's this here sauce to it. So I'm just going to add just a pinch of salt. Now in my half cup measure, I filled half of it up with soy sauce and the other half of it up with what's this here sauce, which is if I don't think about it, I can say it. If I think about it, I can't, which is Worcestershire sauce. Add that in there. I'm adding just a couple of cloves of garlic that I've minced, which I buy mine minced anyway. Now to kind of cut all of that, this is a 1/8 cup measure. I've packed it with brown sugar. I'm going to put this down in there. Kind of cut some of that harshness. Now I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of paprika and a half of the teaspoon, about 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, and of course I gotta have my parsley flakes. About a good little handful, a little over a teaspoon. I'm going to give this a stir, and I'm going to close the lid. I don't have to put it under pressure because I'm using the slow cook function. Like I say, if you're using your crock pot, put it on low, and we're going to cook this for around 4 hours on low. Now my slow cook function does not have a high or low on there, so mine may get done sooner than that, and I don't want this on airtight. But I'm going to set it for 4 hours, check on it periodically, and then once that time limit's up, I'll bring you back and we'll go to the next step. Alright, it's been 4 hours and I was able to clear the stove of my canning and stuff, so I moved my pressure cooker, or slow cooker, over where you could see it. Remember, I'm not pressure cooking this, I'm just using the slow cook function. Smells good. So now I'm going to pause the camera and I'm going to try the broth, check it for seasoning, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, it's real good, but it does have that hint of sweetness to it. So I'm going to add a little bit of teriyaki sauce, so we like it. Just a couple of dashes of my hot sauce. My concentrated beef base, I'm going to add just that much more of a teaspoon. That's really about a half a teaspoon. And that's what you do. That's what I do. Every time I cook something, it might turn out a little different. So just taste as you go. I'm going to add a little bit more pepper. Another just pinch of salt. And a couple of dashes of what's this here salt. Sauce, not salt. Give it a good stir. Now I'm going to add a cornstarch slurry to it. So this is a 1/4 cup measure that's not filled all the way to the top. Almost. And then I'm going to fill this up and add water to it. Gonna whisk it up till it's smooth. And add that in there. Give it a stir. If you get it too thick, add a little bit more broth to it or water to it. Now I took a head of broccoli, this much, washed it. Now this is fresh broccoli. I washed it and I chopped up the florets. Give this a stir. Now I am going to add just a touch more water to cover it up. You don't have to. Me and my son love the broth on stuff like this. And so I like to make extra. Because we don't really care for rice. We can eat it with stuff like this, but I want my rice floating in the broth. Now we're going to cook this for another 30 minutes to let that cornstarch have time to thicken it up and let your broccoli get done. We don't like our broccoli all mushy. So, you know, it could take 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Just keep a check on it. And if you're using frozen broccoli, I don't know if I would let it cook that long because it might turn to mush. But I'll be back in around 30 minutes. And now for the moment of truth. It's been 30 minutes. Looks good, except mine needs to be thickened up just a little bit more. So I'm going to add some more cornstarch in liquid and then let that go a few more minutes. And then I'll be back to try it. And here's my finished product. And I just want you to know, usually when I cook foods that I cook on a regular basis, I don't really measure it. So I just try to give you, you know, close enough range to what I use. So, you know, make it to what you like, add what you like, take out what you don't. And that's just kind of how I do it. And I know this doesn't look like a big serving, but I have a German chocolate cake with my name on it. So, and I'm not really that hungry anyway, been nibbling all day. So anyway, let me try a bite. And remember, if you're using frozen broccoli, I probably wouldn't let it cook that long. And if you have the pressure cooker like I do that has the brown setting on it, I did just take the lid off and I put the brown setting on it, let it get good and thick. And as you can tell, it's like the perfect thickness. It's not too thin and it's not too thick. But frozen broccoli, don't let it cook that long. Get a little bit of rice. Now I love it. And I did cut back a lot on the brown sugar. And I may even cut back a little bit more on it. It depends on what my family does and likes. They'll usually tell me if I cook something that they really like, and the next time I cook it, they know I'm going to change it up. They're like, don't change it up. Leave it the same way. So anyway, I'm going to hush. I'm going to eat. Thanks for coming along with me. Please like the video if you like it. Comment. I love hearing from you. Subscribe if you haven't already. I love you all, and I hope you enjoy. Bye, y'all.